All right, we're live for Friday Sips. I'm Mark, this is Dan, or it's a reasonable facsimile of Dan, because Dan had a family thing come up and had to go take care of that. So it's not both of us. This is as close as you can get to Dan as a bottle of Booker's. So Dan and I are going to do something different today, since we had planned to do a Blind Shelfie Throwdown. And that's hard to do without two of us here. We're going to open up a really special bottle that I've been waiting to open until some friends could come over, and they are coming over tomorrow. We have a very small, well-vaccinated group of friends that we do little whiskey nights of. It's half a dozen or so, 5 or 6 people. And I've been waiting to open this till we could schedule that, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So that's these bottles. And I thought it'd be fun, too, to say, well, this is an expensive bottle. I'd say near unicorn bottle. And I paid $200 for it, which I believe is retail. They don't bring crazy money on the secondary market. They bring, double that, maybe triple that, but not terrible. But I also happen to think this bottle, their Four Roses Small Batch Select, has got to be one of the top 2 or 3 bottles under $100, and it's a $60 bottle of whiskey around here. So is the often chased 2021 Four Roses Limited Edition Small Batch 3 times plus better than the small batch. And that's what we're going to try and sort out. And in case you haven't noticed or paid attention to it, the small batch limited edition this year is made up of 4 different of the mash bills from Four Roses. I am not an aficionado on those 10 different recipes. There's 2 mash bills and 5 different yeast strains that they use to make up all the different whiskeys. This one is made up of a 16-year-old OBSV, a 14-year-old OBSQ, a 12-year-old OESK, and a 16-year-old OESV. Some of those are supposed to be more floral, some of them fruity, some of them sweeter, some of them drier. But that's a lot of old whiskey from 12 to 16 years old. The small batch is made up of 6 of those recipes. It's a 6-year-old bottle at 104 proof, I believe. Yep, 104 proof, non-chill filtered. The small batch limited edition is 114.2 proof. And so there's a little bit of difference there, not a ton, but a little bit of difference in the proof. I'm interested to see. Now, normally, I would do what we call around these parts an open the bottle video, and I'd just be sitting here by myself, which currently I may be sitting here by myself anyway. Yeah, sitting here by myself anyway. So I'm just going to combine those things, and we'll do it all at once. So usually I do a little intro, so I just say this. Hey, this is Mark from The Practical Still. We're going to open up another bottle. This time around, it is the Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition Whiskey, the 2021 edition. I'm excited. I've never had one of these before, and I'm curious, is it 3 times better than one of my favorite bottles, the Four Roses Small Batch Select? So we're going to find out if that is the case. It certainly smells good. And to recap what the small batch limited edition is this year, 4 of the 10 different Four Roses mash bills. It is a 16-year-old OBSV, a 14-year-old OBSQ, a 12-year-old OESK, and a 16-year-old OESV. So the varying pieces and parts of those yeast strains and mash bills makes up, 4 of those make up the 2021 limited edition. Some old whiskey from 12 to 16 years old. I paid $200 for that bottle. We're going to also taste the small batch select and see if it's 3 times better. We'll see. The nose is gorgeous. Oh man. That is delicious. It's 114.2 proof. That's barrel strength for it. Non-chill filtered. Oh my goodness. That completely coats everything. It is sweet. There is a spicy dry oak on the end. It is quite floral. Oh man. Oh, that is a beautiful bourbon. Goodness. There's Larry. Larry, welcome. Larry, if I ever do actually send you all those samples I've been promising to send you for a year, I've got to include this one. This is outstanding. Hey, Angus. Everybody's here. Well, you missed the fun part, the actual opening of the Four Roses Small Batch Limited Edition. It is amazing. If you have a chance to secure said bottle, I don't see how you pass it up. Now, that's me drinking this independent. Oh, by the way, since you guys just showed up, Dan, this is Dan Stand-In, a bottle of Booker's. Dan had a family thing, so he won't be joining us today. But that's pretty much the same as hanging out with Dan, as having a bottle of Booker's next to you. This is amazing. Anybody, I don't know if you guys have had any of the small batch selects, but holy smoke, is this good. Unbelievable. I don't even know what to say about that. That's incredible. You may have also noticed we're not in the world headquarters, because that's Dan's garage. It'd be silly for me to drive all the way to Dan's house and sit in his garage by myself. So I'm here in my house. And what you see behind there is what my wife and I refer to as the whiskey room. That's where we enjoy our whiskey, our cocktails, and our coffee. And so you get a little bit different view today. This is amazing. One of the questions I want to answer, and I don't know if you have to, get some. No partner in crime today. I got Dan. Get some if you can. I've never been able to get one of these, and it's part of this very super secret club I'm in because of a store where I tend to concentrate my whiskey spending. The way they move their allocated whiskeys is there's a group of us that are loyal customers, and we get an email, and once we get that email, there's a list of whiskeys. We have as quick as we can to turn around our top 5 list. Whoever's first wins, and this time I did not win because this was the super allocated version, and I guess all of us put the same first 6 whiskeys on there. And even though I got my email back to them in 8 minutes, that was not quick enough. But this was the one on my list that came up. I'm really happy to have it. It's just delicious. But one of the questions is, I think the Four Roses Small Batch Select has got to be one of the best bottles under $100. It's about a $60 bottle around here. Non-chill filtered, 104 proof. We should see if this guy is worth 3 times this guy. So the only way to do that I know of is to pour the whiskey in the glass and take a sip. I will be a little disappointed, I have to say, if this $60 bottle is as good as the $200 bottle. Right off the bat, it is not as dark. So if we give that a look, there's the Small Batch Select, there's the limited edition. It's pretty close, but I don't think it's quite as dark. Yeah, the nose is lovely, but it's nowhere near as intoxicating and all-encompassing as the limited edition. Yeah, that is still a delicious bottle of whiskey. It's not even close to the limited edition. Not even close. Close enough that I'm super happy that you can buy that bottle pretty much anywhere, anytime, at least around here near Boulder, Colorado. I will keep one of those open as often as I can have one. At $60, I think it's a great deal. and a delicious whiskey. But it is interesting. Sometimes you do these little tastes. Recently we did, Dan and I tasted a $230-something bottle of Ardbeg Supernova, and up against the standard Ardbeg 10-year, miles apart from each other. We tasted a 16-year-old Lafroig against the standard 10-year-old Lafroig, a smaller gap, not nearly as noticeable. I put this between those two. This is super good, the small batch select. It's just not even close to this limited edition. It is amazing. Yeah, Bender, yeah, small batch select. The limited edition, I never got a chance until this year. I'm pretty excited to have it. 65, yeah, small batch select 65, it's worth it all day long. Don't pass that up. I don't understand. I really like Four Roses whiskey anytime I drink it. I always like it, but I just never have gotten into figuring out, am I an OESQ person or OBSV, or frankly, I can't even keep those straight. I do know it's 2 mash bills and 2 yeast strains. They vary the amount of rye and malted barley and corn in those 2 things, and then the different yeast has a big effect on the flavor of the whiskey. This is one of those things where a 6-year-old whiskey is really good. It just can't hold up to the mouthfeel and the flavors of 12 to 16-year-old whiskey. This is just fabulous. I wish you guys could taste it. $52 for small batch select. I'd buy a pile of those at $52. But yeah, everything Four Roses is good. I also tried to dress the setup a little bit, since it's a different place, and to keep you guys from seeing the wires and such. I put some fancy bottles in front of it. I don't know if anybody had the old Fitzgerald. This is the fall 2021 8-year-old, delicious. Have you had any of these Old Forester barrel-proof barrel picks? They're amazing. I thought they're quite good. I've never had Rock Hill Farms. I've had this one for a long time and never opened it. Anybody had the Rock Hill Farms? I think it's kind of an amped up, I don't remember which mash bill, if it's the same mash bill as Blanton's. But it's supposed to be an amped up kind of Blanton's feel. But I don't know. It's so good. So that's about what I have today. I don't have a whole lot else. I miss my buddy Dan. I wish he was here. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I know we started to do the official open the bottle video, and then I just got carried away. So I don't know that that really worked. I may do that after the fact. So if you didn't get a chance, watch those open the bottle videos. I have a good time doing those. It's a quick take on what bottles feel like right out of the bottle. I'm not real good at super detailed tasting notes. And then after I have them open for a while, I always go back and do what we call a back to the bottle. So there's watch lists for both of those, because I think whiskey changes. I know whiskey changes as it sits over time. And some whiskeys you open that don't necessarily bowl you over, if you give them a little time with the topper opened and a little air in them, they get different. And sometimes they get better. So I think it's fun to come back to them later and take a sip of them down the road. And that's why we do those back to the bottle videos. I say we. Dan's done a handful. I wish he'd do more. But I have fun doing those, and I hope they matter. We'll get back to next week. Hopefully Dan will be back. We will do the Blind Shelfie Throwdown. I'm pretty sure Dan may have made up this whole family thing he needed to take care of because he didn't want to get it handed to him in a live Blind Shelfie Throwdown. That's probably what happened. He's scared, but hopefully he'll be back next week. We'll do that. We're going to enjoy this small batch select bottle with a group of friends tomorrow night. Whiskey is all about friends, and Bender, I know you're not jealous, but if you were here, you could hang out and drink some of this if you want to run up from Texas to Colorado tomorrow night. But we get together with a very small group. It's tiny because of all the things going on in the world. And we just sip whiskey and enjoy it and eat a lot of food and have a good time. I hope you guys do that too. Whiskey is for sharing with friends, and we're going to share that one. But I do need to do the little videos because I want to have the content, and I don't like to do that when there's 40 people in the house, or not 40, when there's 6 or 7 people in the house, including a bunch of little kids running around. So that's what we do here. I hope you guys get a chance to drink this one. It is amazing. Thanks, Bender. Yeah, he likes the short format. Yeah, I don't let people generally don't like me to talk too much, but that's a shame because I talk a lot. But that's excellent. So I'm glad you guys are liking those. Let me know which whiskeys you'd like me to have a shot at. I don't know if you can't really see it in that, but back there on the shelf is a shelf. The deal with my wife and I came up with early on was once I filled that shelf up, I'd stop buying whiskey. It's back there. That did not work out. In fact, there's whiskey all over the place now. And if you could see her shelf just off to the side, she's into tequila. There are not so many bottles of tequila, so she sticks to those rules much better than I do. But we do both enjoy whiskey, and I do want to not buy as much whiskey and buy better whiskey. There's just good bottles out there that we just don't have to pay a ton of money for. So let me know what you want to drink. You know, that's kind of what got us going and hanging out with Bender was Texas whiskey. And last week or the week before, we drank some Texas Balcones Texas Blue Corn 100 whiskey. So if you've got something you'd like us to open up and talk about, let me know. You can leave a comment down below. You can email me at mark@thepracticalstill.com. Love to do that. We're on Instagram at @thepracticalstill and on Facebook. So if you think of something, let me know. And if I don't have it in one of these 6 or 7 cabinets that are full of whiskey, maybe just like that Blue Corn, I'll just go find a bottle and we'll open it all and drink it together. Yeah. Yeah, Larry. So the whiskey backdrop is better than the bike parts, but as you probably know, Dan is a journalist in the world of cycling, and he and I work on what he calls Slogan on the Fast Ride. It's his title for quick reviews on bike gear. And so Sips every week, we are live for about a half an hour talking about the world of pro cycling, what happened at the different races, talking about gear. And so, you know, it's not like this is a complicated setup, but it is a little bit much to try and reconfigure everything for the whiskey thing. So you end up with a lot of bike parts in the background, but not today. Not today. It's all whiskey all day long because that's what's in our house. So this has been fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'll keep an eye on this guy. I'll go get my little open the bottle video done. That'll be up, and then I'll drink it down about halfway, and then come back and let you know that it stay as amazing as possible. At this point, $200 is a pile of money for a bottle of whiskey. But at least when you drink it, you buy a bottle of whiskey like that, and it's this good, it feels okay. So would I do it again? In a heartbeat. I'll do this one every time I get a chance to buy it at retail. I will not pay, I know this is not a 10 times bottle, this is a 2 or 3 times bottle. I will not pay double retail for it. It's really good, but I'm just not playing that game. So if you get a chance anywhere near retail, I certainly think you do that. If you're anywhere near Colorado, holler and come by and I'll give you a sip. But when you can't get that one, this guy is a fine substitute, the Small Batch Select. What else is in that range? Let me know what you think. I think this bottle, the Old Forester 1920, these Old Forester barrel picks at cask strength are delicious. There's a lot of good whiskey out there that's not crazy expensive. So let me know. And yeah, Larry, we got to razz Dan constantly. And this is, like I said, Dan's here with me right here. So we'll see you guys next Friday at the same time, or roughly the same time. We're not awesome at the exact time. And if you think of something in the meantime you want to chat about, let me know. But we'll plan on the Blind Shelfie Throwdown next week. That's where Dan and I have poured each other blind samples off our shelves, each other's shelves, and we drink those and try and figure them out. We got a fun little scoring system where we get a point if we can figure out the style. Is it a bourbon or a rye or a scotch? We get a point if we can figure out the distillery. We get a point if we can get within 6 proof points of the proof. And then if we actually nail the whole thing, you get 2 points. So a total of 5 points available. Last season, I absolutely crushed Dan. And I think it hurt his feelings. So this season, he's thrown in a bunch of sourced whiskeys and things that are quite impossible to figure out. Jack Daniel's barrel proof. I got a Jack Daniel's single barrel that's not barrel proof. It's 94 proof, quite delicious. But yeah, I love the Jack Daniels. They're super hot. George Dickel 15s. Absolutely. I'm about to put a video up, Bender. I've got 5 different store picks from the Dickel 15. Fabulous whiskey. Buy all those you can get. And but you got to be a Dickel fan because some people don't like it. Dan and I love Dickel whiskey. So absolutely, maybe we'll play with those. Dan would never put a Dickel whiskey in a Blind Shelfie Throwdown because they're too easy to pick out. But we'll see. Anyway, see you guys next week. Thanks so much for hanging out, and cheers.